Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing today? By far, this is the most requested video I've had over the last 2 weeks. Basically, it's just a government area, and at first I was like, why do people want that? Like, it's not that interesting. But then I have an image in my mind what a government area is like, because I've been to, I think, 2 or 3 town planning interviews at the council on the Gold Coast and one in Brisbane, and they're nothing like how you would expect them to be, I guess, in American cities. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, when you say a government area, you're probably imagining like a American government area, which is kind of like a campus. It has the really traditional buildings, the layout, the grand big garden areas. But for me, I don't want to plan like that. I just don't want to, because I'm not familiar with it. So I'm planning it in a way that I am familiar with it here in Australia, in Queensland, which is the state I live in. And so it's a very free-flowing, kind of not really much of a structure, but it still has a nice look to it. And once you see the end product, it's not highly manicured, and that's because I never really do highly manicured builds. Like, the only thing you'll see is trees. And so this building here, I think that is from Ottawa in Canada. I think it's the old one, and then I mix in this other town hall. So there's 2 town halls there. I can't remember where the other one is from, but that's 2 mushed in together. So the smaller one, I thought maybe we can just do that and pretend it's the original. And then we have the other one, which is kind of like the new extension to the building. And I should also mention that when you guys said do a government area, pretty much all of you said do it on an island. And I was looking for an island, I was looking for a suitable place where I could even make an island. It's a little bit too late in the build now to do an actual island. If I were to do an island, it would have to be an island that's way out in the suburbs, and I think that's not really realistic, because the government areas, you'd probably want them in the more downtown inner area. So this is what this area is right here. It's still kind of in the downtown area, so this is why I put it on the river. So it's kind of like a river canal, whatever you want to call it, and I just put in the boardwalk with the trees to make it look a little bit more classy, I guess. And so the roads that I use in the design are just the pedestrian friendly roads, but cars still can drive on them. But I really didn't want it to look like they were roads, because that would just really not create the vibe that I want. So the whole look that I'm going for is very free-flowing, just trees, natural, kind of old style, like European city downtown area, where the buildings are really kind of crazy and all over the place. So that is the look I'm going for. And the buildings, like some buildings are a little bit older looking, and then you have the more modern office looking buildings, which you'll see very, very soon. So the 2 town hall buildings, I'm pretty sure they are just leisure buildings in the game. In terms of all of the other buildings that I put in for this government area, they are real office buildings. So all of them are actually functional. And when the area was finished being built, I looked at how many people work in this area, and it's about 730 people. So in the next episode or the next episode after that, I've fill in the surrounding areas, because there's going to be such a huge need for workers in this area. 706, is that a lot? Isn't it a lot? I don't know, you tell me. But I think it is a lot for one go, and you'll see actually you won't see a lot of people working in it straight away, because I didn't let the game play out for that long after I finished building it. But I think what I want to do is put in some people generators that will actually make people come in, and it'll make the whole area come alive, which I didn't do in the video. But yeah, so I put in a lot of the pathways. So between the pathways and the roads, there's not really any difference because it's the same color, it's the same texture. So the roads just look like really larger pathways, which makes a very, I guess, grand look for the whole area. And yeah, so it all mushes together. So I didn't want it to look like this is where you have to go, this is where the cars have to go. So it really is very, very free flowing. And by far one of the most hardest part of this game, this build, was doing the just working along the boardwalk, the canals. It was really hard because I don't know what the game was doing. Maybe it was a mod, but things were just jumping up and down. It was going all over the place, and it took a really long time. This area here, I put in a huge parking complex because 706 people, not all of them are going to drive cars, but it's still handy to have a big car park. Because I remember when I went to the council, I've been there a few times, there's huge parking lots everywhere, really, really huge parking spaces. And so I thought, this is a huge area, and it's also right near the hospital as well, so it can kind of double for both uses anyway. And if it is working for the hospital or just for the public as well, it's going to generate money as well. But majority of the parking lot is pretty much for the government building workers, but other people can still use it if they want. So this is the grand entrance area. I'm just putting in these planters that don't really have any purpose. Even like the way I put them down doesn't really create any reason to have it like that. I just thought I'd just put it like that because you just need something grand right there. So, and then these planter slash fence things that I just put down, I put them throughout the whole video. I'm not going to show you guys me putting them down. That probably took about half an hour to put all of those pot plant garden things down, and fiddling with them was so frustrating because a lot of the time you'll build them, they'll go under the ground, then you got to build them up and up and up, and it just took so long. So I'm not going to show you guys that, so I will cut that big chunk out, and that took so long. But the end product, it looks really good with all of the detail and, well, basically all of the vegetation, and definitely is a good idea. I didn't do it in St. Petersburg, the government area. No one suggested it before, and honestly I never even thought about doing it because it just never came into my head, if I'm being honest. And one thing I forgot to do is I thought, should I put in a train station right there? Because it's an island, so it's already kind of cut off from the other suburbs. So I thought, should I put a train station right there, right in front of those two buildings there on the right side of the screen? So let me know, should I put in a station there, or should I just leave it blank? We could technically fit in a raised station in there if a lot of people say yeah, let's do it. Guys, I guess this video was more about the visual side rather than me talking and explaining things, because what can I really say about building a government area? I don't even remember being taught about it or even talked about it in class or just anywhere in general. So this video was basically just a request from a lot of you guys, and the outcome, you got to admit, it looks quite good, don't you think? So yeah, so this is just a visual one, not much else I can say. I think the only thing is keep it near public transport, because a lot of people are going to come into this area. A lot of green space, because obviously there's going to be a lot of workers that want to get outside of the office, and then all those little pathways everywhere, definitely need them to connect from side to side of the bridge. And yeah, so what else can I say, you guys? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye for now.